You're tuning in to Past Our Prime,
A show powered by Squad Locker.
Here are your hosts, retired Astros minor league star Tip Fairchild and former Patriots All-Pro center Dan Copen.
Episode 48. He's Tip. I'm Dan. Past Our Prime. Powered by
fired up.
Yeah, you are fired up. Powered by Squad Locker. We have Brian Cummings coming on today. BC, head of apparel sales at 3Step's Sports, which big news last week on the end. Squad Locker and 3Step, who is the largest sport ecosystem.
Yeah. Big deal.
Entered into a partnership where Squad Locker will be the fulfillment end of their sports.
Yeah, their apparel side. Yeah, I mean they've got a monster. I mean he had a career that started at Under Armour with Kevin Plank, and
Grew that
Yeah, he's been
that a little bit.
Super successful. From what did he say? 5 million to 5 billion.
Yeah, to a couple billion.
Yeah, a couple billion.
Even if you're a couple billion off,
That's
who gives a shit?
And they're going to do the same thing with 3Step. It's a cool partnership. We'll talk about it some more in here. We do have a ton to go over on the front of the show here. We have a lot happening. So I'm going to start it with this.
You can start it. Go ahead. I'm double checking something.
I'm going to start with this based on the Pop 62 challenge. We are still doing the Pop 62 challenge. I need 14 days. I'm going to tell you why I need 14 days. My elbow is ready to explode.
You need 14 days.
I need to let this inflammation come down so I can do the pull-ups. I can do everything right now.
Is it your elbow or your liver?
It's my elbow, Max. It's my elbow.
Or his heart. I don't know. Might be his heart,
By the way, I can do it. I just think that it'll be more beneficial for me potentially for the future of my elbow health to let the inflammation come down a little. It's coming down. It's almost there. I know right where I'm at.
Did you go to a doctor?
No, but if somebody
Do you have
knows,
a doctor's
did you
note?
see I posted my doctor's note? It's funny that you bring that up. Was the post that I put up yesterday about Tommy John. You got to look at it on the Instagram. You don't look at the Instagram?
I didn't look at it.
You'll see it.
The only thing I saw over the weekend was dirty martinis.
Yeah. You want to go there?
Oysters. No, I want to figure this out real quick, too.
Okay, so let's talk about the challenges first. We're still going to do the Pop 62 challenge, the Murph. We're doing the Murph. We're going to let this just tone down just a little bit, and we're going to do it. We're still going to video it.
Didn't he have a sweatshirt on last week, die first, then quit, or something like that?
Yeah, this is an injury. I'm injured.
It's an injury. I could do it, but it just...
I might just do it anyway.
Now you're going to do it.
I'll just record it at the house.
You don't have time to do it. You're losing a miles challenge.
That's going on at the same time, which this... By the way, not all of this is too much.
All right, here we go. No, yeah. That's going on at the same time. Who's the one who started the miles challenge?
I know.
Why? Why did you start it?
Because I have an addiction called competition, and I just start things.
No. Why did you start it? Yes, you do. Yes,
because I'm fat.
Yeah. You start a miles challenge. We're 8 days into it. You only ride 4 days, and you take 3 days off or 2 days off to go up to Maine to just get boozed for 2 days.
No, it was the boys' weekend. We'll go into that after we do this. But it was, I'm ready to rip tonight. Tonight I'm going to be on the bike pretty hard. I can promise you that. Are you going to be on the bike tonight? You already rode today?
I already rode today.
Did you ride today, Max?
I did 30 today.
Did I ride today? No, I rode last night for an hour.
Okay, so and then let's bring that up.
I did an hour. I did an hour yesterday, and I did. Hold on, because this is inaccurate. I don't think I left 20 minutes up there last week. I thought I got the full 5.
You're the accounting manager, right?
All right, here we go. I can go through it just real quick.
Live on the
screen. November 1 was Monday, correct?
Yep.
Right? All right,
Monday.
So we have 60 on Monday, right?
Yeah. What'd you do Tuesday?
60 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We have 30 on Wednesday. 45 on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And then we have 40 on Friday. And then we have 30.
Yeah.
30 on Saturday. 20 on...
I see 10.
20 and
15.
10. 20 and 10 on Saturday. We did 30 on Saturday. And then we did 5 minute... No, we did 20, 10, and 5. We did 35 on Saturday.
This is your missing minutes right here. I bet you had another 15 on Sunday.
And then we did 30 on Saturday. 30 on Saturday. So what day are we on? What the hell?
You just read me Saturday. I had corrected by 5 minutes.
We'll redo it. I mean, your accounting skills aren't great. I did see a hilarious
because now
video.
I'm getting confused with like, hey, 11-7. I'm just trying to figure out when was 11-7. Was that?
I saw
Was that Saturday?
While you figure this out, I saw a
Saturday
hilarious video. Max, you
Saturday was a 6. Okay, so Sunday we did 35.
So Saturday and Sunday you did 35?
Saturday I did 30. Saturday I did
right.
30.
All right.
And then I did 35 on Sunday.
That's your 20. You have 15 there. That's it. That's
All right,
your missing
we're good.
20. Okay, you're covered. So I do have this hilarious video. It's a math video. Max, you have to find this. Where this guy is like putting quarters in a what do you call it? Parking meter. And he's getting interviewed on the news and he's like, yeah, but like 15, I'm giving you a quarter and I'm only getting 15 minutes. That's not a quarter of an hour. And they're like, yeah, it is.
Well, the sign says that it's 4 quarters for an hour, but a quarter only gets you 15 minutes. So if my math is correct, that's not an hour.
That's not an hour.
Not an
but
hour.
it is. And also,
A quarter, 15 minutes? Rewind. Take that off. You're right. 15 minutes is a cool. I swear to God, I do not do drugs. I have not had liquor. My friends are leaving me.
well, anyways, we're doing a story about they want to change
Please
the parking
don't put that
meter.
on.
Like he realizes it on the interview and he's like, it's a funny video. I laughed so hard when I saw it. So I'll catch up to you. I'm not worried about it.
Well, you should be
No,
worried.
but Max did a ride.
That's it. No,
Can we get into
wait.
Max?
No, we can.
We're
in a
gonna be
second.
all over me
I just want to
today.
here's the update, right? Here is the update, where we stand
Yeah.
on
Hours.
hours. That's fine.
Or
I-
miles.
I don't
Do miles. Do miles.
I don't give a shit about miles.
Do miles.
Let's go miles.
It is a mile.
155.1 miles right now. for me.
155. That's a good run.
And tip is at 63.5.
Oof. That's a long way. I got to ride. I got to ride to Portland.
I'm almost in Portland.
I got to ride to Portland.
and you're not. And you're
Should've just
you're
rode
still at home.
home. Yeah.
You're still at home.
Not good. Max did an hour-long ride last night and sent Dan and I a message and says, hey, great ride to do. Kendall, which Dan and I always do, we do a lot of Kendall rides. Kendall Disney ride.
Yeah. what were the Moana soundtrack and all that shit?
For the clarification, I had done a 30-minute Jess King experience right before that,
Okay, all right.
and it
That has-
finished, and
yeah.
I was like, I still got some in the tank. That was starting live.
Yeah.
It was a live class. It was awesome.
Disney ride. What were the songs? I mean, it was like
Lion
Moana.
King. No, it wasn't any. It
the
wasn't. It
Lion
was all
King.
like my age, so it was like
Okay,
Lion
all right.
King.
Mulan.
that's
Mulan or
No,
something.
That's a
Mulan.
good pump me up movie. That's a good soundtrack.
This is the opposite of what gets me going on the bike. Opposite.
We go rock, metal, classic
Oh, there was
rock.
some High School Musical
I
in
want
there
like
for you.
Rob Zombie on there telling me that like I'm about
Rocky soundtrack.
dead
I
girl.
want to listen to Rocky soundtrack. Max comes out with the Disney.
What rides did you do, Dan?
Disney. A lot of rock, a lot
here
of
we go,
metal,
here we go.
classic rock.
I know you're gonna ask me next, and I ride
Well,
all
he did
rock
3.
rides.
He did 4 rides, so it really doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride tonight. I'm gonna sweat it out and be right back in the game. So I did go up this weekend. Ryan Reed, one of our first guests on the show, right here, got his jersey for the Pirates. He got inducted into the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame, and we made an event out of it. And there was a lot of good guys that went in this year, a lot of big leaguers. Also, Aaron Rodgers, who we're going to bring on. He'll be a funny guest. I played summer ball with him. We used to mow lawns together at Bonanza. That was our summer job.
That's a good job.
We didn't get paid though.
Oh, that's not a good
All
job.
we got was an ice cream cone. Well, we did it for that. It was an amazing time.
And you continued with your ice cream
We did
cones.
win a championship though. So I went up. It was Ryan Reed get in. Such a fun time. Ryan Flaherty also was in this class, who's probably one of the better players to come out of Maine. He played in the big leagues for 8 or 9 years. He's still coaching for the Padres. Mark Rodgers, who was like the 3rd or 4th or 5th overall pick the year before I got drafted, he went in. And then also Charlie Furbush, who was another big leaguer.
It's a great
They all
last
went
name.
in.
It's a great last name.
Furbush.
Furbush.
So all those guys were up. We went up
name, isn't
Saturday.
it?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Charlie Furbush, left-handed pitcher.
You know, some of the last names are kind of funny. That's one of those funny last names.
It's a good name.
Furbush.
Yeah, good last name. So all those guys went in, including Isaac, and I think there was probably 5 or 6 other people. It was a good group that went in. But so I go up Saturday. we go out, we go to DeMillo's, and Dan hooked me last week on just, as the seasons change, you like to have a different drink. And you were like, my drink's these Tito's Dirty, right?
On the
Can
rocks.
you tell me it? Explain it?
Tito's Dirty
Yeah.
on the rocks with olives. Blue cheese if they
Do
have
you
them.
say the number of olives that you want?
No.
You just say Willow.
I'm not that guy.
So I didn't know, and I thought you said 3, so I was saying 3 all weekend.
Oh, you're the douche.
I would have taken 1. I didn't
you're
care.
a
I just
douche
didn't
all
know.
weekend.
No, it was not.
Not the brand, right?
Give me 3 olives. I want 3. I don't want 2.
By
I
the
don't
way,
want 4. I want fucking 3.
I was not a douche by the bills that were coming out, the tabs that were coming out from this weekend.
Yeah, but you're a douche up front.
I know, but
you had
then-
to had to do that to make up on the back end.
Got a few followers, by the way, because I always put that Past Our Prime show on the receipt. That's how you grab the followers. So I went to that. I went to that drink.
It's good.
It's nice because it's so salty.
Yeah.
Problem is, if you have a whole bunch of them, you don't feel great for a few days because like my fingers were pretty fat. My face, it all like goes into the cheeks.
He sent
a couple
me
videos.
He actually sent me a picture.
Don't put that up. Don't put that up yesterday. You can't. Don't put that up. You can't.
You know, Ryan Reynolds in that movie when he was bigger, he goes back and he didn't get the high school girl or whatever, but now he's this fancy like works for like a studio or something like that, a manager for recording artists.
Gosh.
When he was back in high school, he was a little bit bigger. Tip sent me a picture after he got back, and he's probably a little bloated, salt in him.
God,
But,
yeah.
I mean, he's holding water. Let's just say that. And you squeezed.
I squeezed the chin down
You
too.
squeezed 8 chins out of his head. I swear to God.
It's not good. But we all went out and went to okay, this is going to be Plug City right here, so this is probably going to be a clip from me at least, Max. Maybe not the clip of the show, but we went to DeMillo's. Love DeMillo's. I love DeMillo's on the water up there. I had the lobster mac and cheese.
Sounds like a great thing to mix with booze.
As soon as I posted that,
Sounds like carbo loading.
As soon as I posted the picture of that, immediately 2 people sent me a message and said, "Looks like a light dinner."
It was delicious, though.
Yeah. So went to DeMillo's, love that place, incredible. If you're ever in Maine, go there. Then went to Blythe and Burroughs, which was maybe one of the coolest like speakeasy bars I think I've been to, and I've been there before, but not in this entire setting with a bunch of people and having a good time. So amazing. They have the big velvet curtains when you go in. The girl in the front like yelled at us. We walked in and she's like, "You gotta stay outside." We're like, okay. And like eventually we got a killer seat behind a bookshelf in a back cool bar. Awesome. Then we hit up the next day. We went to Eventide, one of the best restaurants. I think it's incredible there. Eventide Oyster Bar, I think they call it. Went to Tomaso's Canteen. I'm not great at the
Tomaso?
names. Tomaso. Tomato. Right? Let's call the whole thing off, Max. I went there. So it's just plugs. And all the breweries. I mean, Portland is buzzing. When I say buzzing, it is buzzing. Like, it is just
town.
loaded. You just go from oyster bar to brewery to speakeasy to restaurant. To oyster bar to brewery to speakeasy. It's just nonstop, right? And it's
There's no Peloton stops on the way or gyms in the middle.
no, there's no gyms in the middle. So I went up. We had the event on Sunday. Really cool. Awesome. Again, congrats to everybody. And then we go finish the rest of the Patriots game. And I plan on I'm going home. Like, no problem. I'm going to have a beer with the guys, say bye. Had a great night the night before. Long night the night before.
Time to go to bed.
I'm going to go home.
It's like, did you switch like mentally? Like, because when you get to that point, it's like, oh, I can't wait to get home.
I never got there.
Okay.
So I got to having a great time to having 2 beers, watching the game, and then being like, I'm going to have 3. And then everybody forcing my hand to stay because a bunch of people were actually staying that night. And I made the call home. Wife was awesome. Was like, "Hey, you're going to get home late anyway. Get the kids tomorrow." I made that call outside, went back in the bar, blew through the doors. I'm staying.
And everybody was so happy.
Yeah, no, and we had a good time. It was fun from there.
I'm glad.
You know?
Congrats to Reed on the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yep. So that night,
I'm glad you had a great weekend.
We saw a guy at a bar look just like Billy from Stranger Things. We thought at that time.
I've never seen that
yeah
show.
I
Was it
posted
a show or a movie?
I saw that.
The
Is it a show?
Little
I've never-
creepy, scary. It's kind of a cool show though. Nostalgic, very nostalgic. Show.
Yellowstone started again.
That's a good. I've never seen.
Did you? I thought you
No, I
binged it during your COVID days.
No, I didn't get to binge it. I saw like 6 episodes, and then it like my paywall went up on it or something, so I got to figure it out. But we saw this guy. We thought for sure it was like Billy from Stranger Things posted it, and then I tagged Hut in it because he's got great head of hair on him. Hut rated him an 8.5 on the hair scale, and that's a high rating for the Hut hair scale because he only rates people. Like you got to have a nice head of hair if you're a Jake Hut person.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would agree.
Okay.
He's the master.
Okay. So what else do you have, Dan? That was my weekend. It was long, and now I'm ready to go. I did press the reset button yesterday.
After Twixes.
I had 2 Twix bars, and I said, okay. Before I had the Twix bars, I already had mentally pressed the reset button. I said, I'm going to have these 2. I took them both out of the package.
The mini ones?
The mini ones.
Oh,
So it's like 1 Twix.
No worries.
Ate them both. Actually held them in the mouth for a little while, savored it.
Because you're not going to taste it again.
Nope.
That type of thing.
Bang. Press the reset button right after that.
No, it was good. I had a great day. Sunday, I woke up, went to the market, supermarket, grocery store, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. People have a different name for it up here. Is it market?
I call it grocery store.
I say grocery store too.
Yeah.
I
Say
think.
grocery
But
store.
a lot of people say market up here, right? Yeah, I think so.
Maybe Boston. Boston might say market.
Well, Boston Market, you get
Yeah.
a chicken sandwich, chicken carver sandwich
yeah,
from
that's
Boston
true. Yeah,
Market,
those are
delicious.
good.
If
Yeah.
we're going to continue with the fast food talk,
What number is that?
chicken carver's got to be number 1, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's their flagship.
By the way, a lot of pop listeners up at the main thing.
That's good.
People are like, "Hey, love listening."
Main solid.
A couple
You know,
people
they're
I
gonna back
don't
you.
talk to a lot were like, "Feels like I talk to you every week." I said, "Yeah, there you go. Got to bring you on the show now."
That's why we started the podcast. So you
That's
can
true.
just talk.
Just talk to friends.
No, we went to the market and then we came home. I jumped on the Peloton Max. Because
Putting the numbers in right now.
thank you. And then Tip can see where we stand. But yeah, I jumped on the Peloton for what
30
I did?
minutes for 11 and a half miles.
I did 35 minutes. No, I did 35 minutes on Sunday just to get to my 5 hours.
Okay.
And then I watched football. I did not leave the house after.
Yeah,
I
that's a
went to
good
the
day because
grocery store.
you've been
It
on the
was.
road. You've been on the circuit.
It was
for,
awesome. And this
traveling.
weekend, parents are coming in. My parents and sister are coming in.
Oh, this weekend coming up?
No hockey this weekend.
Oh wow, 2
Yeah.
weekends in a row for you. Where you gonna
Saturday he had a game, but it was at home anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Nice, good weekend.
So it
for
was
you.
good. Watched a lot of football.
This is the weekend I usually pick up the backyard in terms of like put some things away. Season gets going, sprinklers get blown out, like the whole deal.
Already done.
Really,
Did that already.
already did it.
Took care of it.
Picked up the back porch, the back
That I
patio?
haven't done. I hate doing that.
It's the worst. Cleaning off the cushions.
God, I hate doing that.
It's the worst.
And then you throw the cushions downstairs. It
Yep.
makes a mess in your in your unfinished area.
And you know you're just
whatever.
going to get them again in 6 months.
I
Yeah, it's the worst.
hate it.
I know. That's what I got to do this
Kids
weekend.
getting old enough now, so I can recruit them to help me, and
Do some
that
chores.
helps. But it's still. I mean,
Did you have chores when you were a kid?
oh God, yes.
Did you get paid for chores or did you
No.
just have chores?
No, just had
same.
chores.
Same for me.
It wasn't much. I mean, during the week, probably make your bed and clean up your room. That was sort of expected.
Oh, that's.
But on
that's
the
not a
weekend, it
chore.
was
That was a mandate.
Do you want to dust, or do you want to vacuum?
indoor chores?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was
And
mostly
then
an
it would
outdoor
be,
chore guy.
and then it would be, hey, go outside, help your dad, cut the grass, whatever. So
Yeah, I'm mostly an outdoor chore guy. So it was, let's burn this brush pile. I like doing that. That was fun.
fire.
Yeah, fire. It wasn't like raking. And I never minded mowing lawns. I love mowing lawns. So I guess I kind of liked my chores.
I did. I don't like dusting.
Sealed the driveway a couple times.
I could
hated
vacuum.
that.
I'm the king of vacuuming. I love vacuuming. Really good.
Do you like to put lines in? Do you like to make like a pattern, or do you like to make it look like nothing has happened?
On a vacuum,
Yeah,
just
vacuuming.
like to clean it.
No, see, I like to make a pattern if I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Right? Like, so you go up and then back with a little angle, up and then back with a little angle, and it puts like a nice
OCD.
pattern.
Do you do that when you mow the
OCD?
lawn too?
Oh, I mow the lawn. If there's not lines in the lawn, there's a problem.
Well,
right now,
you've
I'm
got
not
to
mowing
have
the
something
lawn,
on the back of a lawnmower that makes those lines.
I've watched every TikTok video.
you've
about
gotta
it. It's
have
the
some-
heavy.
yeah, you've
you can
gotta
fill
have
a canister
something.
with cement, and it just drags behind it. It can make it look amazing.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever do it?
I never did it then. No,
Because I'm not going to fill a canister.
no, I'm
with
not.
cement.
That's 20 minutes out of my life that I'll never get back. Do we have anything else? Oh, Pats are back for sure. They look good.
They look good.
What else?
agree.
What else in the? What else happened in the NFL?
Oh,
Anything
I mean,
crazy?
I think the big thing is Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah. What's going on with that?
He said he was
Lied, basically.
Well, he said he didn't lie.
Because he was doing something as a form of treatment, right?
He had
I
said,
always
like,
mess up.
I'm not immune. He had said something really, really
What is-
vague when somebody had asked him.
No,
if
no,
he
no. When
was
they asked him
vaccinated.
if he was vaccinated, he said he is immune.
I'm immune. I'm
What?
immune.
It's
immunized.
Immunized. Correct. I am immunized.
Immunized. Okay.
Which didn't necessarily answer the question if he's vaccinated, which he wasn't. He was going to that homeopathic or alternative medicines to build up antibodies.
Yep.
So
Okay.
he answered it in a way that, yes, it wasn't a lie to the question.
But it's not what the NFL is requiring.
Correct. So basically, people think he's a dickbag now.
I know there's a lot going on with this.
Which-
This is not good. And he kind of was taking that like lovable. Not. I don't want to say lovable. Loser.
Lovable? Did you not see what?
It was very
No.
shady.
I'm not saying
Are you
lovable.
still
no.
drunk?
No, listen. I'm saying his not right now.
What about the
Lately,
offseason?
The Jeopardy host. This whole thing.
His offseason being a douchebag
I was going
too?
to say lovable loser, but he was going to be more like he was kind of being like the quirky guy. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
Not lovable,
I'll
like
go
quirky.
there. Yeah, I'll go there.
Yeah, like I'm a
Yeah, yeah.
champion, but like I can do other shit. I can be a Jeopardy
Yeah.
host. I can do whatever.
All right, I'll
So
accept that.
lovable's the wrong word. Quirky.
Quirky.
Is that a word I
Different?
can say?
No, can you say different? I don't even know if you can say
I
different.
don't even know if you
nowadays.
say quirky.
Quirky's probably
Built different.
Quirky's probably offending somebody nowadays.
I'm gonna say it. So
But-
that's what he's kind of going for.
My thing is, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're vaccinated. I don't care if you're not. The fact is, you're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. You are supposed to be
Leader
there and available
and the leader.
to the team. If you're not there, then you get that shit offense that they put out there with Jordan Love, who's had 2 years in the system, maybe under them, 2 or 3. No, this is the second year. Maybe did they draft him last year? Is that what he pissed him off, or was it
That's
2 years
what-
ago?
It was either,
Finished-
no,
all
it
right.
was last year. I think
It's either his second or third year. I think it's his second. It might be his third. But who's been in the system, been in practice, been in the meetings, didn't look very good. So that doesn't look good for him. That's a plus with Aaron Rodgers, by the way, probably.
right.
You know,
right.
hey, if I go away, look at what you guys
That's true.
get, because he got Lazard back, he got Adams back from the COVID close contact type thing or whatever. But you're supposed to be there, and as a quarterback, and I think it's showed poor judgment and kind of a d-bag.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Because you can't fight the NFL. The rules are the rules. If you get
what it is.
vaccinated, then you have a certain protocol. If you don't get vaccinated, you have a certain protocol.
That's right.
And he broke that protocol. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's not a gray area. So he's going to be fine, and then they'll look into it and maybe suspend him. And they're going to fine them, and they're going to take away a draft pick after that. So it's just like he put them in an awkward situation, which nobody really wanted to. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rodgers, are you okay? Or it's just.
It's Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. They never really capitalized on that.
Just I don't care. I don't care anymore.
I like how Max is standing up over here. I think this needs to be. I was going to go live right now, Max, and just kind of give the people what they want. Like
Does it
this
make
is
you
your
uncomfortable?
No, I
Maybe-
like this. I like the fact that you're standing over here. We got the TV. The new setup is nice. So like if you're on the Instagram live right now, you can see like Max in the backside of this thing. So I just think it looks good. We got a good setup going right now. We got a lot of people in the office today
We're
too.
good. It's going good.
Anything else going on?
I don't know. What else?
It's a good segue.
Segue right into the interview.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
into this big partnership that we have. So we're going up to their sales meeting. We're gonna have some fun at that. Can we go to the BC football game? When is that?
I actually might be going to the Florida State game on the 20th.
That's the one. That's the one that King's going to.
Oh, he is? Yeah,
That's what we were talking about.
I got a text yesterday. I might be going up. So
You and me take it?
possibly, yes.
Okay. All right.
All right.
What game is that? Is that Saturday? On the 20th.
20th, it's 12 o'clock, I believe. Noon start against Florida State.
All right. I
I'll
want
see what I can do.
I mean, what if Dan couldn't get another ticket? Or
Yeah.
he could. He's just not going to give me a
I'll
ticket.
tell you what, I don't know. King went to BC. He didn't know who the hell I was.
gonna
So.
ask him
I don't think you can even go because you're going
What's
to be
the
riding
difference?
the whole day. You got a couple miles to catch up.
Hey, the more time he's on the bike, there's no chance of catching.
I saved three seasons of Game of Thrones for this event, so I'm ready to go. The problem is this isn't a challenge, and this is a way better way to do it, by the way. I know I haven't done a ton of it. I'm coming, though.
I know I haven't done a ton of it. I'm coming.
This makes it real, though, because at the second you get on the bike, you're going.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you've got to ride. So it's a lot different.
Just look at that Friday, right, Max?
All right. You went over these numbers with me the other day.
See the Friday right up there, Tip? We both rode for 40 minutes, right? Yeah. And look at what you did for miles, and look what I did for miles.
I told you rode the same. Oh, time out. We didn't talk about this. I'm Friday morning grinding on the bike. Dan calls me. I sent him a back. I said, I'm busting one right now. What did I say? Blasting.
Blasted. I'm blasted.
So I'm blasting right now.
Max, you want to go?
Yeah.
You want to get out of here?
No.
I'm busting
So
one.
I'm blasting right now. So I'm going on the bike hard. All of a sudden, here's my doorbell friggin' ringing. It's him coming over. Bro, drinking a coffee. Guess what? Doesn't bring me a coffee.
I didn't. Yeah, I should have brought
so
you a coffee.
he's like, you riding right now? I'm like, yeah, I am. Like you're ruining my ride. I was going to do another 30 minutes. But he showed up. So, yeah, I mean, I did an easy ride, though, that day, and you knew that, and I told you that was an easy ride.
Well, that's 3 more miles that I put on you that day that you have to make up.
Yeah, so I'm going to do all rock rides coming up. We're just going to get angry and
that's fine.
Get after it.
You did a rock ride. I did a rock ride. I outpaced you. That's just the way it goes.
Okay. So are we doing a hashtag on this? I put one up one day, but I don't know if it was.
No, you're probably going to end up pushing this one back another 2 weeks come the end of November.
Yeah. Don't worry.
He might get some inflammation.
This is hashtag December challenge.
He might get some inflammation.
Anybody listening right now, go on. Well, I'd have to repost it probably. I will repost it. The Tommy John surgery video I put up. This is Tommy John. I stole it from Jessica Kleinschmidt because she put it up, and I was like, "Oh, look at that. That's a nice thing to show." Put that up.
How many years ago was this?
It still hurts. How's your shoulder?
It hurts. I can do a pull-up now. A legit pull-up, Max.
And what about your ankle? You won't jump. I haven't seen you jump an inch high.
No, I mean, that's not necessarily because of my injury. It's the other things will go out, too.
Okay, that's true.
It's not necessarily like saving my left ankle. It's saving my knees and my right ankle.
Pop 62? November. No. I did something. I did something. I'll put it up. We'll tag it. But
let's get to Brian.
We're going to Brian?
Yeah,
okay,
we're
going to Brian. Brian's on 3-step squad locker partnership. A lot happening.
To the moon.
To the moon. I like that. Okay, today we're switching it up a bit. We've got a lot of big news going on at Squad Locker right now. It's jamming right now in terms of lots of organizations that we're working with.
Yeah, but not switching it up because he's still an athlete.
That's true. So you're still an athlete, so this counts.
He still played at a very high level as well.
Well, we'll learn about that.
Yeah.
We did a little research. Dan did. Dan did some research.
I have not one question, but the first question I do have.
All right. So Brian Cummings with 3-Step, right? Big new partner of Squad Locker on the apparel side. He's one of the guys over there. My favorite guy to work with. We're all gas, no brakes, right, BC? That's
all gas, no brakes.
You and I, that is our motto. That's what we're living by. Love working with you so far because you're a speed person. You've got a cool background too. Literally like built out groups at Under Armour. You've played sports. Dan has a first question for you, and we'll get into the partnership a little bit and what we're doing.
It's when you go into an interview, you don't know a guy. You do some research, and usually it's Wikipedia. So, all right, he went to the University of Maryland. He played football at the University of Maryland. Usually, when you click on that team roster, there's one position. For you, there would be 2, running back / quarterback. Why the 2? And bust balls here a little bit, but
was he the originator of the Wildcat?
Were you that good? Were you not that good of a quarterback, or were you just not good at both of them to pay? Or were you one of those sub guys in there that just got thrown in there because 3 guys got hurt at the running back position and they needed somebody?
Well, let me say for my friend Tip and Dan, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on.
No, do you want to hang? Do you want to hang up yet?
Talk about 3-Step. I was getting ready to talk about why Tip and I are going to do some big business together, and you guys are going in to the vault.
Welcome to the locker room.
Oh yeah, this is the locker room.
Listen, when you talked about two positions, Dan, I thought you were going to go, I thought there's going to be a center reference, and then I thought there's going to be a quarterback reference because, the intimate relationship that people like me and you have, or Tom and you and all that good stuff. But no, maybe the QB running back thing was, 20 years ago, I don't know, maybe 25 years ago, I was ahead of my time.
That's it.
I was a little dude.
That's right.
Playing the ACC. We were in the gun. When I was a freshman, they used to sneak me on the field. We used to run a little option because we were wide open, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. We weren't very good. So I got some option run in there, and then that led into me being the starter there for 3 years in Maryland. Great times. Loved the Terps. Loved College Park. Learned a bunch. Met some really influential people there. So I have zero regrets.
So you were the inventor. Maryland was the inventor of the Wildcat offense.
He might have been the first Wildcat.
Right.
Yeah. Might have been the first Wildcat.
I remember Brown. I think we played Brown one year in 2008. It was Ronnie Brown. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie Brown. Where did he come? Where did he go to school?
I don't know. But
he went to Auburn. Yeah, you're right. He went to Auburn.
Dolphins.
We played them in 2008 and 8.
He used to roll out and throw lefty out of the Wildcat.
He absolutely smoked us. I think that was the year Brady got hurt. I think Castle was playing, but he absolutely came out. They came out and they ran Wildcat all game long, and I think they beat us like 35-0 or something. It was an absolute joke of a game.
Castle. We know Castle can't put up a ton of points, so. We got to clip that and send that to him. Castle's one of our favorite guests on here. We have 2 of his jerseys so far. We're looking to get all of them because he played for 7 teams. But he is one of our favorite.
Were you going into Maryland? Scott Zolak, who's another Patriot. He's up in New England now on the radio. Were you, not the same build, not the same thrower, so not a mentor? Did you look up to him? Did you know him at Maryland?
No, I didn't know.
He was a little bit behind, right? Or he was a few before.
Yeah, he was older than I was. But if you remember, guys, like 80s, early 90s, there was a string of QBs from Boomer to Frank to Zolak to O'Donnell to Reich. I mean, there was a bunch of good players. So they sold us on that. So this undersized kid from outside New York City, I was buying, so I wanted in.
Got it. Who'd you meet there that was a good influence on your life? You said it was a good time. You met some good people. You put a pretty good career together after that, I think, right?
Not bad. I wish we won more games. We had a ton of fun. But there was this guy who was a senior when I was a sophomore who took a liking to me. I don't know if it was the quarterback thing, the leadership thing, but Kevin Plank, founder and CEO of Under Armour, gave me a shot. That trusted brotherhood, Danny, what that's like in the locker room.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're still playing or not. It's still there all the time.
Parlayed that into a 20-year career with an incredible brand, an incredible person. I learned a ton, what an experience. So I have him to thank for that. And, we met on the ball fields in College Park.
What about, all right, so before we get to the brand thing, because I think we've talked about it before. Let's start there. How hard is it to build the brand in that space when you've got a Nike and you've got an Adidas and all that other? There's only a few of them, and now Under Armour comes in late '90s, early 2000s, and sort of, changes the landscape a little bit. How is that done?
Man, I think they'll write a book about it one day. I don't think it happens often. And being part of the run, I started there. We were doing a couple $1 million. I left there. We were doing a couple $1 billion. But you read all these business.
It's a good run.
It's a good run. How many companies get to $5 million and they die? How many companies get to $500 million and they die? How many companies get to $1 billion and they die? So I think we all just read that as as fuel of why not us type mentality. And it started with Kevin, and it was a vision, and it was a can-do mentality. So we all believed and trusted in his vision. He was solving athletes' problems. We were all young enough at the time that we still knew what the consumer wanted, and that made us decent marketers. And then I think Kevin's part of his brilliance was surrounding himself with people that just would do anything for the brand, and it really led to an unbelievable 20-year stretch for me. And
was the big core all pretty much guys that, like you said, were on the football field with him, like the trusted people out of the locker room, out of the gate? Was that what he was putting together?
We had a lot of Terps. We had a lot of football players. We had lacrosse players. At the end of the day, we had a lot of ex-athletes, and whether you're in media, whether you're in retail, or whether you're in team sales, ex-athletes are very coachable. Coachable.
We look for that all the time here. At Squad Locker, we've said it 1,000 times, and there's, I think I bring this up on every show, but if you don't talk to somebody for 10 years, but you're in the locker room for them, you pick up immediately right after. In terms of hey, I haven't even chatted with you much, but remember all those stories, right? And sometimes those are two people that you go to war with, right? That's the way I look at it all the time. I'm like, find me somebody like that wants to come in here and win. I believe in hiring people that are your friends too. Even before, because nobody else wants to go. They don't want to let you down. They want to go to war with you on it. I love that. I know that's not a big HR thing to do now anymore, but I'm like, hey, go get me Dan. Go get me some of these other people. Let's go win together. Why not?
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense, and I think if you're hiring, I think partnerships or investing when that partnership and it's who owns this and who owns that that can get a little dicey. That's hey, don't mix money with friends and family. But if you're all on the same page and it's about hiring and working together, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I like to cruise and get it going fast. I think that BC is learning that pretty quickly.
There it is, BC. Drop it.
I'm calling him BC now. That's my new guy, my new initials.
We're family now, so you can call me whatever you want.
That's right.
You'll be talking a lot.
Yeah, that's right. So I'll lead that into 3-Step, right? So you guys do tons of stuff, and I'm not even going to try to explain it. So I'm going to let you explain it, right? But this is something that needs to happen in this youth sports space. I think I feel like right when I got out of the game playing 2010, I started working with different travel organizations. And it was early still, where there was some good ones. It wasn't diluted like it is kind of now, where there's tons of it. But, boy, they were paying a lot of money. I remember being like, wait a minute. There's 3 tournaments, and there's 3 weekends that you need me, and you're going to give me $12,000? Okay, right? It just was getting big then. I played Legion baseball. I mean, I'm 37, right? So it wasn't tons of this travel stuff. Now it's everywhere. And you guys got a grasp on it. You're kind of help consolidate this thing and maybe make it more of an experience about coaching and mentoring, which is a lot like what Squad Locker does, right? We want to give people more time so they can do that. What are the different branches of 3-Step, and how are you guys trying to put that together?
Yeah, Tim, you're right. We grew up playing sports very differently, but the travel model, the club model, pre-COVID was a juggernaut, and it was taking off. And I think one of the things that everyone learned through COVID, parents, is I need to get my kids associated in sport for a million reasons as soon as possible. So some of the key learnings that we coming out of COVID, but essentially, I'll give you the idea. David Giesling, I have an opportunity to work for 2 founder-led businesses that have incredible vision. And are very disruptive. So I feel blessed that I get an opportunity to do this again. And David's vision is just that, the club space, the club operator, the coach, they are masterful in teaching the game, mentoring athletes, and helping them, wherever they want to go in their careers. But what they're not great at are running businesses, getting facilities, running the books, marketing, their platform, running their digital stores, getting apparel, renting fields, traveling across the country. So in that, David saw a million problems to solve and be a great partner to all these club operators across country. And that was born the idea of really 3-Step Sports. We are the back-end 360 one-stop shop provider for all club sports across 8 different verticals. And our objective is to let the coaches coach and let us take care of the business. And so far, it's been working very well.
Yes, I mean, you guys are handling everything, which it seems like you're grabbing, you're purchasing or I guess partnering, whatever you want to call it, with the right type of organizations. You hear some of the names, the ones that you have, like in lacrosse, like 3D is probably the biggest. It's yours, right? Like in baseball, I see some of these ones in New England. I'm like, those are the names that like the Nor'easters and some different stuff like that. What sport did it start with? Is there a sport that sticks out?
It's funny. it started. I'm learning the history, right? You know what's awesome about everything we're talking about is I'm on day 100, which is amazing. We started in baseball, right with Northeasters in our backyard, with Tim, who's an amazing guy, amazing family guy. But it's, and Sue, our chief operating officer, had her kids playing in Tim's league, and she actually noticed all the trials and tribulations of, the challenges of Sue's day as he's throwing soft toss to try to get his kids better. So baseball was our first vertical.
It seems like the one that has the most teams and clubs still. Maybe not though. Might be soccer. Are we doing a lot with soccer yet, or like is there something that you're trying to reach yet? Yeah.
Soccer's massive, guys. We just entered that sport in the last 60, maybe 90 days. We announced a massive partnership with Seacoast United, which is their amazing organization, up in the Northeast. And I think that's a recipe for success. You partner with not only the biggest, you partner with the right people out there, and they start to drive a groundswell of interest, marketability, and a grassroots momentum that starts to bring more and more teams from the soccer space on board. The basketball space, Greg Kristoff, that's the other end. We have masters on top of every sport that are like our eyes and ears and the experts of the clubs out there. Greg Kristoff, one of the co-founders of Zero Gravity, also made a leap of faith to partnering with David and 3Step, I want to say over 2 years ago. So that seems to be another recipe of success. Get great people in as they start to build out your sport verticals with and for you.
Yeah.
In your 100 days, is there a sport that you just not from, we talked about the differences when we grew up. Is there a sport that you're like, God damn, these guys are crazy? You were in Baltimore and Maryland with lacrosse forever, lacrosse is huge down there.
I want to say it's typical, but lacrosse has been so good to our company, and we have such great people around it. I think the explosive opportunity is in women's team sports, particularly in volleyball, and I think that we have some really awesome announcements coming down the pipe over the next 2 or 3 months. But I think women's team sports is a rocket ship. She deserves every opportunity to get the same platforms and experiences. We have a great opportunity to build those things out for her, and I think you'll see 3Step's sports and volleyball take off like a rocket ship in 2022.
I feel like field hockey too is another one that's tricky. It's like club based, where something like football, I don't view as much of like club travel, right? It's much more like football. Always to me feels like Friday Night Lights, right?
Football is very seasonal.
Yeah, you have a youth program that feeds to your high school, and then nobody's playing any travel or select, and then it's just you're done. You go to college, right?
Football is one of those sports you just can't play 12 months a year.
That's right. And plus, if you're going to play in all these teams, now you got to go learn a new offense. Like there's plays, there's all this stuff. It's different than going and playing basketball and putting together a couple out of bounds plays, right?
Yeah, Dan, knowing your background, what if you could do what you did for 4 or 5 months as a kid, but now all of a sudden there's a solution to do for 12 months? Would you be interested?
Yeah, I've thought about that. I actually thought about that earlier, how you would be able to do that. Is that more of like a 7-on-7 type thing, or like, the camps? Because I gotta tell you, BC, I went to, I graduated in 98, okay? So from high school in 98, and that was before all this, the camps. I played in the Big 33 game. That was a week in the summer, and then you're going to camp freshman year. I went to a Penn State camp, I think my junior summer. I absolutely hated it. Hated going to a camp and putting on full pads in the middle of July when I wasn't used to it. Obviously, you got used to it when you were in the NFL, but it seemed you're there for a week for a camp. You're trying to showcase a little bit. Now the recruiting landscape's so different for football, where those college camps are more important. And I get that things have changed. The 7-on-7 is much more important, where you can get noticed as an athlete and get on college radars as well. I guess I would do it, but I also played a position on the offensive line where I don't want to go out there and hit somebody 12 months a year.
It's true.
True.
You know what I mean? If I was a skill position, I'm a quarterback or I'm a wide receiver, running back, and I'm just throwing catch and running around. Yeah, sure. I think I could do that for 12 months, but I think the position almost dictates how much you can do.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Tip, you brought up field hockey. Field hockey and football are super important sport verticals for us, but the club model is very different for those sports than they are in lacrosse or basketball or volleyball. So not any more or less important, just different ways of running those businesses.
We've learned definitely, and I know that you know this, and it's just so apparent where dealers, or vendors, right? They have catalogs for seasons, right? All the time. Under Armour probably has one. You get the the summer fall catalog or the fall winter catalog. There's no seasonality anymore. It's all they're all like, we're selling baseball programs right now. We're selling field hockey programs right now. We're selling swim programs right now. There's no seasonality to it. It's usually just...
My kid's been in hockey for 6 months, and the season started in August or something like that. It's like, what the hell just happened?
There's a season almost just every quarter is what it looks like. It's like, so if your kid plays hockey, they're playing a fall version of hockey. They got a winter, they got a spring, they got a summer. There's something happening there. And it's like, that never happened with me, and it never happened with you. I know that because I remember when there was scouts or anybody there early on, we always had this major league scout that lived up in our area that you'd see him at more basketball games than more baseball games because he's just looking for athletes, right? Like it's like, oh, this guy can like run transition like offense, but also is a great shortstop.
You want someone well-rounded,
right? And like you'd see that more when I was growing up. Where now you go to like, I went to Top 96, I think was the only showcase that I went to, where they took 96 guys in New England and like here's what it was. There's probably one of those every day now. Right? And it's like just at a cage in like Lowell, Mass. Right? And it's just nonstop.
The opportunities are endless for kids to get out and play sports. And I think that's one of the premises of 3Step. When they do it, we want to offer them a more premium experience. Full 360. And like I said, it's not even about the scholarship or the athlete. It's like, kids from 8 to 18, and all these opportunities to travel, compete, meet great people, get great mentorship from teams. Like I always said to myself, whether it was Under Armour or now it's 3Step's Sports, I just think we're lucky to be able to work inside of youth sports.
No, I think one of the great things about 3Step after, doing my research is they offer all sorts of levels. If you don't want to be on that travel team, you can still be on like a house league. You can take as much of it as you want, or or you can do it a la carte, whatever you want to do. But when you guys are in the front office and you're looking down, it's like, hey, this is a business. We want to make as much money as we possibly can, which is phenomenal. That's what you're supposed to do. What do you do? How do you when people get too specialized? Do you guys sort of echo that through your businesses, through your clubs? Like, hey, we want these kids not to be focused in on one. We want them to play more. What do you think about that? That side of it, especially from a parent. I want my kid to experience a lot of different things, and if he gets hooked up in one thing, hockey's a very time-consuming thing, but he does play other things.
Yeah, I there's the personal opinions, and then there's like the vision for the business. I grew up a two-sport guy. I played football and baseball at Maryland, and I wouldn't have changed a thing. If the club sport travel programs were as elite as they are today, I wonder if I would have made some different decisions.
Right.
All you can do is you fast forward now, right? Well, our role is in those 8 sports is to create the best premium and inclusive experience for these athletes. And give them choices, right? Give mom, give dad, give the athlete choices. If they choose that they want to be focused on one sport, well, we have events, we have apparel, we have facilities that can meet and exceed their needs. And if they want to take it, across the spectrum, I think, if I was a college coach recruiting, I think they still look for, athletes that have a little diversity to their sports. For many reasons, but it's all personal preference.
All right,
talent.
It's America. You have the right to choose.
We don't care.
True.
Yeah, you can choose. I get it. If you're good enough and you're on that travel team, that elite program team, and you want to keep doing it, and I think it's more. It's not necessarily for you to do. It's more for the parents. Like, is he getting burnt out? Is he still enjoying it? That's what the parents. And sometimes nowadays, parents are crazy. And they don't take the step back to look at how their kid's doing in that sport. Like, all right, maybe we need to pump the brakes just a little bit.
Right.
Which and then the other thing is, my wife actually gave me an article up in Mass. They were having trouble there's a huge shortage on hockey refs up there in Massachusetts. It was a few weeks ago, I think the article came out, and parents are just relentless at these officials.
And that's why there's a shortage.
It's great, and there's a little yapping. It's like, you're into the game, you want them to do well, but I can't. Now it's just when my wife's there, I don't say a word.
Yeah, no, it's a good move. So I was with a bunch of guys this weekend because the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame, one of my buddies got in, so we were all around, and that's why I took a 2-day bender up there. And there's more of that on the front end of the show that we'll talk about. But
I'm learning more about you every day.
One of my
that's why he's looking so
I'm so puffy still. Yeah, I've had a lot of salt. So one of my best buddies, Ryan Reed, he was a incredible football player too, but also Ryan Flaherty, who played in the big leagues for 10 years. And they brought this up in the actual induction thing. Like, he was the quarterback for Deering High School, a big Class A football program up there. And he played his senior year, even though he was a huge baseball prospect. And it was always like, people loved that about him and about his, like, they were like, you're not playing. You're going to Vanderbilt full ride. Like, you're already set. You're good. You're probably going to be. He was a first-round overall pick, a couple years into Vanderbilt. Had a great big league career. But he still went on the football field that fall, his senior year. That to me, that was like the most meaningful thing I took out of it. Because I was like, that's like the teammate thing. I keep seeing all this stuff with the bowl games now where people don't play that bowl game. And it's different. I know you're going into like these big money things, but it was a lot different 10 years ago. People never would have taken a bowl game. I don't think
the thought would have entered their mind.
Right,
I think it would have been like, I don't even think you can do that. I don't think it was allowed.
Yeah, just hit the specialty. When we were talking
the
about
only thing you thought about when you made a bowl game was like the bag of gifts you get that go along with going to it.
And if you didn't go, maybe you didn't get the gift back.
Well, I think you probably
a lot of them
still
were probably UA ones.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the most influential UA representative, do you think, for an athlete?
You just want them to say it, don't you?
Well, I kind of just want you to say my guy, but at the same time, I've got one too.
Yeah, when I ran our wholesale teams there for a bunch, and I also, ran our sports marketing team. So, people like, Stephen Curry and people like Tom Brady were and continue to be some of the greatest ambassadors in sports, regardless of brand. So not only those are probably two that will go down the best that ever done it at their positions, but they were just you look at them, they're phenomenal people, and those are one of the million benefits that I had working for a great brand for that long. But I would say there was a whole host of athletes, but Stephen and Tom, pretty good.
Yeah. I think Dan and I have the same answer on this.
Yeah,
we've got the same guy here.
I thought you were going to go with the hometown boy Phelps.
He's mine. He's
right?
my pick for Under Armour.
I mean, who's going to argue that?
That commercial of him swimming, the one he was coming back, what you do in the dark puts you in the light. I think I've cried watching that commercial. I'm not gonna, if you're a listener of the show, I've only cried 4 or 5 times. Dan knows all of them now.
Oh, God.
That might have been one of them, though. That commercial put me in like a mood.
The only thing you're doing in the dark right now is drinking dirty martinis.
No, I'm gonna start working out in the dark. It's gonna get good. But that Phelps,
Lindsey Vonn, greatest downhiller ever to do it there. Under Armour's done a really nice job.
You had Harper too, right?
We're also missing Spieth.
Oh yeah,
who was the golden boy there for a bit? I think he's back now too. Couple year hiatus.
He's back. He's back.
Hey, you mentioned football, 12 months a year. Is that something you could let me in on right now, or what are the plans?
No plans. I think the natural evolution is like the build of 7-on-7 is real.
Yeah.
We still don't see there being a lot of club, organizations that are attack that space. 3Step's Sports is the kind of white glove service operator behind a lot of Under Armour's, All-American platforms. One of them being the Under Armour All-American game, which
it's a cool game.
Who's had the experience playing down there in Florida. It's the creme de la creme. So that's kind of been our position in one of my favorite sports, but. What I've learned quickly is, we're willing to innovate. Our sport directors are super authentic in the space. If there's a way to give the kids a better experience, we're the ones who are going to figure it out.
Yeah, it seems that way, and that leads to this topic, which is the Squad Locker 3-step thing now, which is fun. This is going fast and furious, and it's right up my alley. It's right up a lot of people's alley here, where it's like, you guys want to go in and break some things. We want to break some things. We're both disruptors in the industry. Us being a disruptor on the team dealer side, you guys being, a big conglomerate that you're building with all these aspects of youth sports. And I love this partnership off the start. And I will tell you, I've been in this game, I think 11 years now on the sports apparel side. So I've got, a decent big network into it with LinkedIn and everything else. I've never had more messages that I got text-wise, phone call, email, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, than when this announcement went out last week. It was probably my most engagement ever, where, wow, what a get. Like, this is a serious deal. Like, this is a big thing. Like, congrats, all this everywhere. So obviously we're making some waves out there is what it feels like.
Yeah, Tip, man, I feel the same way. The momentum around our partnership is real. In the many meetings that we've had together, I think there was a shared spirit. Your leader, Gary, is a disruptor, is an innovator. He's as real as it gets. And I just think at the end of the day, it's about people. And I think there's a shared mindset. And I think the athletes are going to feel that. Hopefully they feel that pretty quickly with what you and I are working on with a lot of these holiday stores, and just, amplifying the athlete's experience and the family's experience to get goods during holiday. But, the team space continues to innovate. More and more kids are playing sports, every day. It's an industry that's been around for almost, a century. And I think that people like 3Step, people like Squad Locker are maybe showing the public a better way to maybe enter or run, team sports a little bit better together. Yep. So we're fired up and we're just getting going.
Yeah, no, I think with what Squad Locker does and how we match, basically your motto of giving that time back to the coaches matches perfectly. Our fulfillment side, your organizational side, and it all just helps those coaches just concentrate on those kids.
It's all about the athletes. You got to keep that in the center of what you do, and then you really got to think about how those club operators are spending their time, and think about how we can help them free their time up so they could be great at developing these young kids, because that's what they're passionate about, and there's nobody better. That's
what we're both trying to do. What sports teams do you root for? You a Ravens fan?
No, guys. I grew up in New York, right outside New York City.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Just all right.
Damn sorry. I'm a diehard Yankees guy, but I respect the Sox. I want you to know that I respect the Sox, but I love my Yankees.
Not about the.
What about football?
Don't really care about the Yankees.
This is more important.
Yeah, right, Giants or Jets?
So I was going there next. I'm a Giants guy.
No, please say Jets.
Mark Taylor, Phil Simms, Mark Bavaro. These are some of the greatest human beings ever to, grace.
Lawrence Taylor did a lot of shit at dark too.
He did. You're right. This hurts Dan because Dan needed it to be the Jets.
Won a couple of Super Bowl in the 21st century.
Here you go. Hey, BC, it's going to go back to Brian Cummings here pretty soon.
Yeah,
it's no longer BC.
Very humble.
Yeah, very humble.
Yeah. The only thing you can't bring up with Dan is 2007. The only thing you can't bring up. I know, and I told him, I said, I'll bring it up once a year. This is my one time.
No bullshit. You brought it up like 2 weeks ago.
I know I did. But I know it's your only thing. It's your only topic.
Nah, I mean, that 2007 one, that doesn't feel good.
It hurt me. I say this every time, though. It hurt me more than you. I was damaged after that season. I was so mad.
You know what the worst part about that offseason was? After the game, BC, the loss that you feel, really doesn't sink in. I don't think it still sinks in, because every time that game comes on, I sit there and I try to watch it, and I always end up turning it off because I just get pissed. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of good friends on that football team too. Snee, O'Hara, Deal, a bunch of good guys that I like. Yeah. And, we text every now and then, and they'll throw a jab in as well, which always hurts.
Oh, we gotta get
which
him
is
on
always
the show.
appreciated.
Get Snee on the show. That'd be a good idea.
But that whole offseason after the game, then you go back for off-season work, off-season training, and then it's the OTAs, and you're just waiting to go into that first meeting with Skarnecki. It's like, I wonder if he's going to make us watch that goddamn game. Sure enough, first fucking day we're in there, he throws on the tape. He's like, the only way we're going to learn is if we watch it. And we watched it was just miserable.
Was that your first time watching it? I wouldn't have watched
that was my first time watching it since, that was first and only time I watched it the whole way through.
No,
you don't watch that. No.
You still get the rings, though. You still get a couple rings.
Got a couple.
That always feels good. So,
a bunch of rings.
we're coming up. So we're coming up next week. You got this is your first big sales meeting, right? Like this is a big deal.
First ever national sales meeting for 3Step's Sports. Fired up.
We're gonna come up. We're gonna bring the noise.
I'm so glad you guys are coming in force.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna come up. We're gonna bring the force. Our last question we like to ask everybody though is, what color Gatorade is your choice? What will be served at the national sales meeting? This tells a lot about you as a person.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you what I like, and you tell me what it says about me. But I'm an orange Gatorade guy.
All right,
24/7.
We'll allow it.
I appreciate the fact that you gave a classic flavor.
That's
originally
number one.
Old
That's
school.
a big deal. Yep. We got people giving Gatorade Zero stuff now. We're like, you're not. No, that's not a real flavor.
I go back to like when I was 9. Remember they used to have it in the. I'm aging myself. They had the glass bottles. And the coach stuffed it in the ice and he popped it up. You're like, I just remember the orange Gatorade, and it never changed since then.
That shit was the best.
Okay. So we got to add that one to the list. We haven't asked that to a lot of people lately. We got to bring that back. We got to bring the Gatorade question. We missed some people.
Is he losing his mind?
I think he's still going to catch up from this past weekend.
I'm still catching up.
Jesus. Are you still drunk?
Next time on Past Our Prime, this has been amazing fun. Hopefully we had a chance to do it again. We need to talk about IPA selections and other beverage choices. So
we'll see you Wednesday.
Hold on. Tip will give you one tip right now. Tell him about the amaretto.
Oh, don't do this.
Do this.
Don't do this.
Just tell him to try.
Dan and I love Miller High Life, and this just started happening. Now, we've always been craft brew guys. I have been for a long time. You have been for a long time. But like one day there was a 6-pack of Miller High Life in the fridge in the office here, and we had them, and we were like, "Holy shit! We forgot how good these are."
Yeah.
Right? Now you buy an 18-pack, they're $8.99. I'm
It's
saving
good for the
money.
wallet. It's good for the
amazing. But you take a half of a Miller High Life and you put it in a cold glass, and then you put a shot of Di Serono in it, like so you car bomb it, I guess is what that's called.
What
right?
is it? Di Serono?
Di Serono, Amaretto, anything like that. Tastes just like Dr. Pepper. One of the guys in the market.
Dr. Pepper shot, classic, one of the classics of all time.
Okay, good. I never heard of it.
I've only done Jaeger bombs and like car bombs and stuff.
Yeah, one of our marketing guys did that. He's like, "Try this." I had one. I was like, I might just have this like when I get done working out. It tastes amazing. So
a good one.
I've got a video for you. We'll show you when I come up Wednesday.
Get your rest before next Wednesday, okay?
Okay,
yes,
perfect. We like that.
Next topic's beer.
Yeah, next topic's beer. Next time you're on.
Fair.
Perfect.
All right,
BC, thanks for coming on. We're pumped up about this.
Guys, thanks for having me. I'll see y'all next week.
All right, see you.
You got it, man. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Past Our Prime is brought to you by Squad Locker. Squad Locker is your one-stop shop for custom team apparel, delivered right to your front door. Learn more by visiting squadlocker.com.